Hi guys, this is going to be a message in relation to how the Divine Masculine is currently feeling about the Divine Feminine. I have pre-shuffled, I have pre-prayed, and I'm just going to hop right into it here. I will go ahead and shuffle just a couple of times on camera so everyone can see that that is happening here, and we will move right into the reading. I did just put out a video saying a bunch of thank yous there for donations and for all the subscriptions and likes. So if you want to, feel free to check that out. I absolutely love all of you, and thank you guys so much for helping me here on this channel. I truly, truly, truly appreciate it. I'm going to leave the links in the description below if you guys are feeling like you want to go ahead and um, donate or anything like that. They are provided in the links below. If you're wanting a reading, also feel free just to comment on the videos, and we'll be able to figure something out before I get my shop up and running. So I'm gonna go ahead and hop right into the reading here. All right. Alright, so the overall energy, obviously, is going to be the Empress for this. So this could be them either really looking at the Divine Feminine and seeing her absolute beauty and everything that she's been doing and going through in order for this journey to really carry on and continue. They could really be seeing the Divine Feminine as kind of the torch holder, so to speak, in kind of like this relay race, where they might feel like the Divine Feminine has really carried a lot of the weight in order to make this kind of connection still happen and exist. And they might be finally seeing that here. We have the representation of the Knight of Cups, the Seven of Cups, the Eight of Pentacles, the Ace of Cups, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Three of Swords here. Alright, so the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups is all about somebody moving forward with a message of emotions. We've been seeing this kind of a lot lately in regards to how the Divine Masculine is feeling towards the Divine Feminine. So this to me says that they're still really in that desired state of having an emotional conversation here. I did have a card fall out that fell on the floor too. So, which was the Five of Cups here. So the Five of Cups, in relation to the Knight of Cups, this to me is somebody that's probably really starting to realize that they've made some mistakes here, that what they've had hasn't been fulfilling, and especially when we're talking about these third-party situations. The Divine Masculine may have ultimately chose to kind of not leave that third-party situation, and they're starting to have a lot of regrets about it. And that's part of the communications that they're wanting to express, is that they're unsatisfied and they're not happy, and they're not happy with the choice that they've made or have been making, because it's not fulfilling, and they're still kind of stuck just looking at it and going like, man, what a mess I've made, you know. So the Devil card here, obviously, it is them, very much still saying, hey man, like, I feel like I'm just stuck in this energy here. I feel like I picked this card, I'm sorry, that I picked this person, and it's not happy, it's not fulfilling. I've stayed here out of maybe kind of knowing my own demon here. There's some comfort in knowing where you're at versus going into that unknown state. Despite that being what they truly want, there's still some fear associated with it for them, that what they'd be giving up to go to something totally new and totally kind of crazy in their mind, because they know that they've done wrong in the past and they've wronged the divine feminine in several different ways. And this is them in this Eight of Swords energy, them wanting to discuss how they've felt trapped, how they've felt totally just stuck in the situation, and why they've felt stuck in the situation. It could be a series of reasons, financial or related to kids, things like that. It could even be just a way that they were raised by their parents, so to speak. It could be them thinking that this or that situation was the right thing, and that they've been trying to do the right thing for this other person, despite it not being really what they want. Because truly, what they want is this Two of Cups here. They want this union with you. They know that they want this. There's no question, and that's the ultimate end message here that they want to portray. Is like they have all these hang-ups from the past, with the Eight of Swords, the Devil, and the Five of Cups. They're wanting to talk about everything that's happened in the past, and what's really led them here. But they also really want to talk about this desire to be with you. They have this desire to communicate that, hey, I have all this love, I have this connection and desire to be with you. Them needing to basically be honest about everything that's happened and why they've done what they've done and the choices that they've made, and in hopes that you understand what all has transpired because of it. All right, so the Seven of Cups is all about choices. In the traditional tarot, it can be very much about illusions as well. Okay, so this is going to be continued on their message. So they're saying that basically their choice here that they've made has led them to a lot of heartbreak over the situation. They realize that they've kind of been going through this illusionary state, and that the overall choice of them basically either staying in that karmic situation or not picking you, whichever your situation is basically really come to their heart, and it's really weighing on them very heavily. They're worried. They're worried that they've finally done something that's going to push the divine feminine completely away, and their heart's breaking over it because they know they've been doing this third party situation, and they know that reality is that so people are only going to stay around for so long before they choose to go off and do something else, and that's very much the mindset that they're in. They know that that it's not what serves them best, because it's been endless heartbreak every time they pick this third party situation. Their heart's not in it, and they're really wanting to come back. Which is really being represented here, because they know that this is the ultimate choice here for them. It lines up perfectly here with this Two of Cups. It's the Four of Wands. It's that twin flame connection. It's that union state that they're ultimately desiring. That's the choice they want. They want to make that because they know that staying here is just not going to be in their best interest. It doesn't feel good for them. It's not a pleasant experience. It's very empty and lonely, despite them maybe having somebody and having some times that are decent, and I'm not gonna say like really fulfilling or rewarding, but it's not all bad. But it's not in alignment with who their highest self is or what they truly want. Because what they want is they want to be with you, and they want to have this this start of their life where they get to go off and be happy with you and go on trips and have that happy home life and that loving relationship. So The Eight of Pentacles here is all about the representation of hard work. It's hard work, and through hard work, it's causing manifestations. It's like the process after manifestation where things start to work, and because you're working towards what you've been manifesting, you're starting to see that growth come. Let me see if I can hold this up and get you. Of course, the sun is gonna kind of blind it up, but what you can see there and what you're looking at is the pentacles growing in the trees there. So it's like what they're working for is growing. It's not quite ready to pick yet, but it's growing. It's growing there. And really the representation is the hard work, and starting to watch that growth occur. So as they've been growing this here, they're moving forward down this path, and the path here has been very dimly lit. They're done with the planning phase, and they're starting in that working phase, and they're realizing that kind of the way that they've been going about it has been a very narrow and very dark path. This is something that, things don't look the same at nighttime as they do in the daytime. The moon is also associated with illusions. So to me, this really comes across as them kind of wandering down this path and thinking that they're going about it in the best way, and they keep running into different obstacles, and they're stumbling and tripping because it's nighttime and they don't see everything, and because they're not seeing everything clearly, they're kind of stumbling around in this state of trying to figure out not only how to get back to you, but how to get out of their situation, and they just keep hitting roadblock after roadblock and obstacle after obstacle because they're not quite going about it in the exact right way. They're not using their intuition correctly, or following all the guidance that they're being given. They might be they might be told that, hey, you need to have this conversation with this person at exactly this time. They're like, oh, well, I'll do it next week. And because they wait a week, their situation gets harder because something new comes into the picture and whatever. That kind of energy, that's really the message that I'm getting coming across here. With that comes in the Tower. So to me, this really kind of, we keep seeing that the divine masculine keeps pulling these Tower energies. All my own personal readings that I'm doing with my divine masculine, and I believe several that I've posted, the divine masculine keeps getting this Tower energy, which means that something is going to dramatically change. Something's going to occur just like that, and all of a sudden everything's going to be different. It's going to get shaken down to its foundation. And I think this is really probably in alignment with them maybe not following their intuition or their guidance that they're being given, them not following the signs and synchronicities. Let's say that they're asking for a sign like, hey, should I talk to my divine feminine, send me XYZ as a sign for whether or not I should. And then they get XYZ and then they don't do it. That's kind of the energy, and I think that because of this, they're going to have something dramatically shake up their lives to basically put them back in alignment. I know I've had plenty of Tower moments from me not listening to advice through my spirit guides and everything like that. And it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's meant to remind us, hey, there is a reason that we're here, and we do have soul contracts to fulfill, and we have missions and purpose. This isn't just all about lovey frilly happy emotions, but there is a overall purpose for our reasoning having a twin. And this is really to help us get back onto that path here. So something's going to occur with the divine masculine and kind of their hardworking state, that's just going to shake it all up. This doesn't have to even be a negative thing. It's just sudden change. Very sudden, rapid change. that they just don't see coming. It comes out of nowhere, okay? This could be an instant just change of heart emotions. This can be an actual event. This can be an event that creates an instant change of emotions, something like that. Because we have the Ace of Cups here. So the Ace of Cups is all about emotional new beginnings. It's probably one of my favorite cards to see when we're talking about the Divine Masculine, because, I mean, who doesn't want the emotional new beginning? This could be relationships, this could be, it doesn't have to be as committed as that, but something along the lines of that. Um, Alright. So we have under this emotional new beginnings, the Five of Wands. So this to me is saying that they understand that if they were to just kind of either if they have started something new in the past, it's creating a lot of new conflict, or it's creating a lot of competition and conflict for them, or that they are looking at it and saying, if I were to proceed forward with this, it's going to create conflict, competition, so on. I'm really leaning towards them maybe have having some sort of emotional new beginning. So if they've been really trying to push things with the karmic partner, that it's going to be something that causes a lot of competition, conflict, strife between the two of them. And because of that, it brings in this Four of Cups here. And the Four of Cups is all about them still looking back on this third-party situation they have here that's already been depicted, and them not seeing the emotional offer. They're still kind of stuck in that energy of going like, damn, man, I really fucked this shit up, you know? Like, I did bad, and um, I'm not happy about my situation. Like, I really feel like the Divine Masculines and the overall energy I'm getting is just like a lot of disappointment that they have about how things have played out, and they understand that they really kind of have no one to blame but themselves for putting themselves in this situation, for letting this situation go as far as it has, and they're starting to have to pay back on that karma for some of the maybe more selfish choices that they've made throughout the journey here. Ultimately, you are responsible for all your own actions and every choice that you make. Despite some of it being fate and destiny, you do still have free will. There's three elements that play into this. Between fate, which is encounters that are just going to happen no matter what. Destiny is the choices that you make and ultimately play out after that, and then free will is the in between. Whatever choice takes you down whichever road. The important thing to understand about the twin flame journey and path is that every road they take, the Divine Masculine takes, is always going to lead them right back to you. Some obviously take longer than others, and this has all been predetermined in the soul contracts and everything that you had aligned before coming here to partake in this twin flame path. So, with the representation here of the Page of Pentacles, this is them wanting to basically come in as a messenger about all of this, them being unfulfilled, them having this conflict and this new beginning. So if your Divine Masculine maybe started recently, like maybe they moved into a new level of commitment with either the karmic, this to me is them wanting to kind of communicate that that's not really what they want. They may have felt really pressured or obligated to take the offer at the time, but it's truly not what they want, and it's creating a lot of conflict, and not happy feelings. They're not enjoying where they're at. They want to be able to communicate that. They're just not really entirely sure how to, because that's going to create a lot of change. And if they say something like that, they're kind of stuck in those words a little bit, and they're just trying to figure out how to word this right, so it doesn't come across and lead to more of the same that's been happening. The Wheel of Fortune. So the Wheel of Fortune is all about the changing of chapters, changing of seasons, changing of ideas or states in somebody's life here. Sorry guys, I'll try and keep it up here. Cool. So, this changing here, them moving into the King of Wands energy. I always view the King of Wands, especially when I'm talking about the Divine Masculine in a Twin Flame reading, as them really stepping into the understanding of their twin, like that they're a twin, essentially. You know, them taking that fiery twin flame role, because this is like the King of Fire, right? So with them stepping into the role of being the King of Wands, this is really going to bring in this fulfillment in their home life that they've so been seeking after. This is them like transitioning out of, you know, them maybe playing the King of Pentacles and the King of Swords, and them really moving towards that passionate state. And really accepting all of who they are and what's important to them. With that being said, they have the Emperor right here, which is them really taking into account, you know, all of the energies. So their emotional state, their financial state, their logical state, their passionate state, all of these coming into combination. Because I think a lot of the time we've seen the Divine Masculine, he's been playing the role of either the King of Swords or the King of Pentacles, somebody who's, you know, maybe a little less emotional, or not to say that they don't have emotions, just they don't necessarily let their emotions control their life. And this is really them starting to understand that their emotions should play a bigger impact, a bigger role in their life, because ultimately their emotions are important to them, and it's going to be what you know, really brings in that fulfillment and that happiness and that balance to their life. And this to me is them stepping into that power and finally understanding, hey, I've been out of balance and I just didn't even realize it. I thought I was totally imbalanced because my financial life was looking good, and my, you know, my logical state was looking good, and I had complete control over all of my situations. Even though I wasn't emotionally fulfilled, I could dictate kind of which direction my life was going to take. This is them really kind of stepping into it and saying, like, oh, I need to have all these balanced, because when I have all these balanced, this is when I truly feel the best and the most controlled and in the most power of everything going on in my life. This is really them stepping into their power here. This is like the same equivalent to the Divine Feminine stepping into the High Priestess role, because the Divine Feminine typically is somebody that's a little bit more caught in the fifth dimensional state than the Divine Masculine. The Divine Masculine is typically more three-dimensional. They're more earthly presence and materialistic. Not in a bad way, just they are more in control of that kind of an area of their life. So the Three of Swords here, this represents heartbreak, typically. We got a card here. Okay. That was the order. Okay. So with heartbreak, this is then coming into the King of Swords energy again. They're starting to really see things from a logical side, a logical perspective on everything that's happened here. To me, this is somebody that maybe is looking at the entire situation and going like, you know, this actually makes sense. I can't really be mad about how things have played out, because I have really kind of earned this path. I've earned the results of what's all transpired by having a third-party situation, by not being true to my emotions. This is them starting to understand that. And this could even be them coming to a place of starting to be pretty cutting. This could ultimately be them deciding that they're ready to move out of their karmic situation because they're starting to view it in a logical state. And with heartbreak, if they're with the karmic, they have put energy and time and investment and emotions into this other person here, and they obviously aren't having fulfillment. They're not being fulfilled with whatever they have because the representation of the Four of Cups, the representation of the Five of Cups. I mean, we have a lot of cups energy here. We have, the progression is happening, obviously. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different, cups energies. It's progressing through that motion and going through it. I'm a little shocked we don't have the 6 because we do have the 7 here. So, I won't be surprised if the overall ending message has a 6 of Cups in it. But yeah, the world is all about them coming to a completion of the cycle here. Something's got to end in order for something new to begin. So whatever that means to them, whatever they decide has to end. This doesn't necessarily mean that they're ending things with the karmic. This could mean that they're ending, kind of maybe the cycle of having the third party situation. This could be them kind of trying to take a step back from the divine feminine and see how it works out, or it could be them taking a step back from the karmic partner and seeing how it works out. I'm leaning more towards them kind of stepping back from the karmic partner because of how unfulfilling it's been and their desire to have this relationship with you. I think it's just going to depend on everybody's circumstances there and kind of what's going on. But ultimately, this is a completion in some sort of heartbreak that they got going on. The Nine of Wands being depicted here is them kind of being defensive over the entire situation that's occurred because they know everything that's happened and why things had happened, and they're not a bad person. If they were, you wouldn't be interested in them. They've maybe made some bad choices or poor choices for sure, but they in their hearts feel like they've made all the choices trying to do the best and most right thing. So this is them kind of feeling a little bit defensive about it, but ultimately understanding that things need to end here. And with them feeling a little bit defensive, this causes them to move forward with that message. It might take them a little bit before it gets there to the point, because the Knight of Pentacles is a slow-moving offer, but it is something that's coming forward. So they might have a desire to communicate over here, and the communication might come through, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be like, okay, now that we've talked, let's start dating. It could be like, I want to talk to you and I want to be dating, but I want to play this out a little bit slower. I want to take it easy. I want you to know that this is where I want to end up with you, but I want to go on some dates. I want to rekindle this before I just jump right back into, the whirlwind of this twin flame journey, because that's been, it's been, I feel like we maybe have been moving too quickly in the past, and I feel like that might be what keeps triggering us, or whatever the case might be for each individual person. Can I get an overall ending message here? Interesting. 3 cards. Yeah, what up, guys? So, the 6 of Cups. Shocker, right? Not really. I was already talking about it over here. So we have the progression of the 6 of Cups. This is all about somebody returning from their past, being nostalgic, being in that loving energy. I'm really getting the feeling that they actually just want to come back, more or less, than them being nostalgic, because the King of Cups is them really stepping into that emotional state. So, like I was saying, I didn't mention the King of Cups over here. I just mentioned that the King of Swords and the King of Pentacles that they've typically been kind of holding out in the past, right? Now we have the representation of the King of Cups. This is somebody that comes into that final completion of their emotional state. where they realize that their emotions are important and how they feel is absolutely important. And this comes through a judgment call. This is them ultimately deciding that it's the right time, it's the right move. They've thought about this, they've contemplated it, and it comes through. Okay. I hope that makes sense there. Overall, ending energy here for this bottom part is the Four of Swords. The Four of Swords, to me, is about recovering of the broken heart through meditation, specifically. Meditation, time away, time by themselves, you know, time spent thinking about this, maybe even some dwelling. I mean, dwelling isn't typically associated with the Four of Swords, but with everything else that I've been seeing here, I wouldn't be surprised if they've been kind of like, you know, out eating lunch by themselves, and that's just been the only thing on their mind, kind of. I don't know why I'm getting that visualization right now, but that's what's coming across. So, I hope this has been helpful. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. I love you guys all, and hope this reading has been helpful. The links are in the description below if you guys are feeling inclined. So, thank you. Have a great day.